Hey there, and welcome to the VOA Newsroom. Back for another week, I see. Well, we're always glad to have you here. News topping our first download of the new week now. And you know, we'll say it right now, the video here not so hot, but the story sure is. This bridge in Peshawar, Pakistan, the scene, blood on the roadway, marking the very spot that militants killed the driver of Afghanistan's ambassador-designate to Pakistan before kidnapping the diplomat himself. The vehicle showing signs of the fury of the attack. Abdul Khalik Farahi, now believed to be in the hands of Taliban or Al-Qaeda insurgents. The Taliban, however, denying involvement. And of course, the Peshawar attack coming just days after this weekend's hotel bombing in capital Islamabad. More than 50 people killed in that attack on the Marriott Hotel. And chillingly, a government spokesperson on Monday confirming that Pakistan's top leaders had been scheduled to be dining at that very hotel at the time of the blast. This, of course, before a last-minute change of plans. Well, to New York now, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon meeting with world leaders past, such as former British Prime Minister Tony Blair here, and present, all in advance of opening the UN's 63rd General Assembly. Middle East peace negotiations, hence Mr. Blair, and African development high on the agenda. U.S. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice also meeting with Mr. Ban in advance of this week's opening speeches. President Bush is scheduled to make his last address to the body, at least as sitting U.S. President, Tuesday morning, New York time. And you know, you can hear those remarks live. VOA will be carrying the opening session live Tuesday, starting at 13 hours UTC on radio. And, of course, online, live at our homepage, voanews.com. Well, two items for you now, and as a pair, we call them, and you thought that was bad news. Starting in Switzerland, and what's this? A fashion convention? No, just technicians at the CERN Atom Smasher Control Center. Clearly answering the first question, I think. Well, it seems that the world's largest cyclotron sprung a coolant leak, forcing its shutdown for at least 2 months. So, you know, you'll have to wait at least that long to see if, in fact, the CERN Atom Smasher does swallow the world up whole into a black hole. And you thought that was bad news? Well, how about this? At least part of those 2 months will now have David Blaine in them, hanging upside down. The famously camera-shy illusionist taking to the streets once more to amaze and annoy. This time, starting Monday, he'll hang by his feet about 50 meters above New York Central Park for a scheduled 60 hours. Our favorite part, no safety net. Now, this may not be as fancy as standing on a flagpole or, you know, hanging out in a melting snow globe for a week, but at least he did get to see Donald Trump's hair from a vantage point few could imagine. Could or would want to. Lastly today, a goodbye. You know, love him or hate him, there's no denying that the New York Yankees are baseball royalty. And for the last 85 years, they've called Yankee Stadium their castle. Well, that castle now slated to close, only to be replaced with this. And there it is, the so-called house that Ruth built, Yankee Stadium, as in Babe Ruth. And as of Sunday night, Yankee Stadium has now seen its last ball game. It's being closed. Well, replaced, like we said, with a new $1.3 billion palace next door. Still, you know, for fans, the closing of a ball stadium can be like, you know, losing a good friend. Trust me on this one. Just ask anyone who remembers Tiger Stadium. Well, so now the Yankee faithful of a certain age will be able to talk to their kids someday of the other Yankee Stadium and how great it was, and maybe even these guys will have the same chance. Hope you got in, guys. Well, that is your download for today. We'll see you again tomorrow.